Yeah, Bhagyara.
Maharaj, Nachiketa's dad, he is doing a yajna, but you said he is a sakama karmi, right?
Yes, yes.
But why knowing? Is he knowingly he is giving all these old cows as a dakshina here? If he's I thought Nachiketa's dad means he must be a vidwan, right?
Yeah, so it means that it is possible knowingly or unknowingly to violate rules. It is possible because it's after all an action. It's after all something to be done. To be done, there can always be a blemish. Okay, and also one more thing. This is what Nachiketa is thinking. Okay, whether Nachiketa understood it properly or not, we don't know. Upanishad is saying this is what Nachiketa is thinking. Whether this was actually happening or whether there is more to it and all that, we don't know. We don't know. Okay. And so it may be possible that the father is doing the right thing. Maybe possible. And so those are all details that we can fill up. Yeah. But generally what they say is they give credit to Nachiketa. They say, yeah, this boy knows, and then the father appears to be making a mistake here. That's what he's saying. Yeah, Mahesh ji.
I have a comment and a question. One is that the notes are very helpful, and especially with the Gita Press book with the Hindi translation. I find it quite useful because especially when you read the Hindi, you can easily understand what he's saying. For example, the Aparjanana, he says explanation in Hindi is easy to understand. I mean, if you know Hindi.
If you know Hindi, yeah.
So that's one thing. It took me a while to get there. So but definitely the notes with the spiral binding is very, very helpful.
Yeah. Nice. I'm glad.
And my question is, in the sloka number 1, the two verbs dadau and asa. That asa is parasmayavadi, litlakara, pradhama purusha ego, right?
Correct.
And dadau, also the dadu, I understand it's an ubhayabhati. It comes in both atmanepadi and parasmayavadi. So I was wondering, how do they use when?
See, sometimes they say when you're referring to the self alone, an action that affects only the self, the agent of action, then you use Atmanepadi. Okay, like Pachate and Pachati. Okay. Aham Pachami or Aham Pache? This is the question. Okay, Ubhayapadi Pach Dhatu.
Correct.
And Pache, Aham Pache, I am cooking. Aham Pachami also, I am cooking. Which one should I use? If you say,
I don't know.
So I decide. How do I decide? Am I cooking for myself alone, or am I cooking for many other people?
Oh, okay.
If I'm cooking for many other people, it is Aham Pachami. If I'm cooking for myself, like I did for many 30 years, okay, in America, and then except when people visited me, when I also did invite friends. Okay, don't think I was just sitting in a room and I had friends. So that time Aham Pachami, when I was cooking for myself, Aham Pache. But this rule is not followed everywhere. Okay, this is just academic at this point.
Yeah, because when I looked at the Ashtadhyayas, the first thing popped up was the Atmanepad for Dadu. And I couldn't find the Dadu anywhere. So then there is a Parasmayapadi for that. That's how I found that Dadu lit.
Correct.
Because the Atmanepadi lit is something else.
Correct. Okay, Chandana.
So now you are lit. When you go into Karmani Prayoga, everything will be Atmanepadi only.
Yeah, but this is not Karmani Prayoga. This is Kartari.
Yeah.
Dadav is Katri, yeah.
The doubt I have in pronunciation, we end it sometimes with ha. So where and all do we end it with ha?
Okay. Oh, so there is so Chandana, you have not studied Sanskrit, correct?
I'm in a beginner's one.
You are in the beginners. Okay. So I leave the answer to. There are many Sanskrit teachers in this class. Okay. So you can call this. Our Narayananji is there. Hema Shankar. They're all advanced students of Sanskrit. You call them. Okay. Seriously, I think what Vijay, what we should do is you should list some teachers. List like Vijay also is there. They're all Sanskrit students. List some teachers so people like Chandana can call them and say and ask some basic Sanskrit questions. Okay.
Sure. Okay.
And I can answer some questions, but sometimes a bit involved also, and I don't want to take too much time on that. That's all. Okay, good. Please feel free to ask these questions. Okay, Chandana? Yeah. So, Vijay, I think we should help Chandana after the class and get
Yeah,
ready.
I will.
Thank you. Thank you. Haraprasad.
Yes, Mahodaya. In the last class, you mentioned the word upodghata. Upodghatya. Does it mean the foreword by the author before the grantha is presented?
Yeah, you can call it a foreword.
Okay.
For understanding purposes, you can say it's a foreword.
Okay.
But basically, see, this text, there's no separate foreword like we used to, like we have in our textbooks. Okay, and so foreword could be written by anybody, but here, yeah, it's a commentary. It's a commentary. It is the commentary that introduces the text to us, the entire text to us, entire text.
And should it be by the author himself?
See, in our Shastram, these are always, the Upodghata is always written by the one who wrote the Bhashyam also.
Oh.
Yeah, I've not seen any. I mean, people who have published books, the publisher might write a note, okay, things like that I've seen. But the text is written by the author. And it's part of the commentary. It's part of the commentary. It's not a separate piece, right? It's part of the Upanishad commentary. Yeah.
Okay.
Prema.
I am new to this class, and when you mentioned the Moola text and the notes, what are you referring to? Where should I get it, and how is it done?
Okay, so what books are you having in front of you right now?
I have the Ramakrishna Mission's the Upanishad, Kathopanishad.
And does it have the Shankara Bhashyam with it?
No, not that I have seen.
Okay. So, do you know that we are studying Shankara's Bhashyam of Kathopanishad?
I didn't hear the last part.
Kathopanishad.
Yes.
Kathopanishad is an Upanishad from the Yajurveda. And then we are now studying Adi Shankaracharya's commentary of the Kathopanishad. Okay? So I gather from what you said that you don't have the text of Shankaracharya's Bhashya, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So what we'll do is we'll take it offline. So Vijayji, if one of you can follow up with Premaji and get them situated. So is this the first class you're attending, or have you attended some of the other classes?
Yes, this is the first class. I listened to your the introduction, the first part. Then after that, I just came. And it's beautiful. I mean, every word of it is very meaningful. And you explain it extremely well to my understanding. So I would like to continue, but I'd like to know where to resource.
I'll reach out to you.
So if you would let me know, please.
Yes, definitely. So,
Premaji.
yeah, Vijayji,
Thank you.
help you with that. Where are you calling from, Premaji?
I'm from Montreal, Canada.
Okay. Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you.
Nagya Ramesh.
Jai Kumarji,
Yeah.
do we have how did Nichiketa, being a small boy, know all of this one about what questions to ask and how do we think? What is his formal education or his training? Do we have any knowledge about that one?
You know, there is a Nachiketa Upakhyana. Like that, there's a story of Nachiketa that comes somewhere, okay, in some Mahabharatam or something. It comes, okay. It comes. I've not studied that. I've not read that. Okay, it's a story of Nachiketa itself, and so there may be some details given. And I don't know if that Nachiketa is same as this Nachiketa. Okay, these questions I have, but any of you, if you've studied that, maybe they can tell us more about Nachiketa.
The way in which he thinks and then he asks the questions further is brilliant. For a small boy, knowing so much about our dharma, then even questions that dad, with these cows, they cannot eat, they cannot drink, it could be liability, it may lead to his father may not attain the moksha, instead of that he may go to hell. For
Correct.
that he asked the question.
Correct.
And then another interpretation is Nachiketa's dad must have given everything what he had it, whatever he left over, he started giving. Could it be possible?
Yeah, that's what we're saying. So we're saying that Sarva Vedasam, now we are saying means Upanishad is saying Sarva Vedasam Dadau. Sarva Vedas, Asheshena, whatever. That means after he gives these things, he should say, I don't have any dhanam. Literally, I don't have anything left. And so much that I have to go for bhiksha. I have to give it a bowl. I have to go around and of course society is there. They know him, etc. And so society will support him. That's one good thing. But yeah, a king has to beg. That is what it boils down to.
He was a king.
He was a king and he had to beg. Only a king can do a Vishwajit Yaga. Ordinary people cannot do this. Why ordinary people cannot do? Because ordinary people can give whatever they have. That's possible. But many people will still be standing in line. And you must have wealth for everything to give everybody who comes. That only king, people of that stature can give. And so that's what is intended here.
It will be more and more interesting further how he interacts, how he makes his dad mad. Then, that's the rest of the story. That is very interesting.
Right.
Thank you. It's very nice analysis. Thank you very much, Ekamarchi.
Yeah. So, go ahead.
I'm Kavita. Actually, I'm using a different computer, my husband's computer, so it's showing M.N. Rajesh.
Yeah.
My husband's name.
Kavita. Yeah.
I wanted to ask the meaning of Shraddha Avishtaha. Why it is Avishtaha? The word is used. Is it somewhere else and it's like intuition, or it's something which enters?
Yeah. So your question is, why did the Upanishad use the word Avishtaha?
Yes.
In the sense, why did it say Shraddha entered?
Yes.
It's a way of expressing. Shraddha entered means it's a way of expressing. Visibly entered. Everybody, all of us have Shraddha. See, sometimes when you walk on the road or something like that, you see something. You see a man that is lying on the street. And you feel, my God, why is this? At least if you see a person who's asking who's begging, you can give that person something. But this person is lying down. Then you feel feel compassionate, right? You feel, can't somebody do something about it? Like that, you get a feeling. See, once what happened, what I'm going to say may or may not answer your question, okay? But I'll say, so this thing came to my mind. Once I finished work and then I went to the grocery store to get some food. It was already a bit dark. It was dark, it was raining, the drizzling. And I parked my car and I walked to the grocery store. At that time, I saw there was some small, what do you call this, plants that were grown on the side of the grocery store. And under there, I heard some noises and I looked, it was dark and there was a pigeon there. Pigeon. And it was sitting there, simply sitting in the dark, and it is 7:30 in the evening. And it was raining and the pigeon is sitting here. I knew something is not right. And maybe it injured itself or something. Then I went off and then I went home. Went home, I did my japa. When I did my japa, and suddenly this pigeon comes to my head. Pigeon comes to my head and it's just sitting there. And I said, my God, this bird was there. I should have done something to this bird. At least found out what happened. And so I was seized by compassion at that time. And so seized that I could not finish my japa. This pigeon did not allow me. And so I did something and did a prashchitta, finished the japa, and I took my car and went 2 miles, 3 miles I went, and then I went to the same place. It was 8:30 in the evening. And then I parked the car somewhere nearby, and then I went and looked. If people were watching me, they will say, what is this guy doing in the night? Okay. But then I saw the pigeon there. I had got with me some towels and all that. So I took this pigeon, put it in my car next to me and in the towel, and then it was alive all right, and it was watching and its eyes, it was very much alive, and I brought it home. It was not moving, it was just sitting like that. And I brought it home, and in my living room, I put it in the corner somewhere, and I brought some water and this and that. And then I called somebody up and said, what do you give pigeons? And I have some bird food, but whether it will eat that, it was not eating. And then water, I think it had some water. So all this drama happened, and then the night time I woke up and I gave some water and all. I woke up in the morning, the pigeon had passed away. And then I took the pigeon, I took it down. I was in the third floor, and then I took it downstairs. I made a hole and then then buried it inside. Okay. I felt very happy after that. So we have all these moments. All of us have these moments of compassion, and we just say, something has to be done. Something has to be done. We may or may not be able to do at a given moment, but the idea that something should be done will be there. So that's where I think this avishta, so entered. So nothing. Shraddha really cannot enter. Shraddha must be there inside. It just has to come out.
Yes, it should be expressed. It's a moment in which it is expressed, but this avishta,
avishta, we say expressed. That's why we say outpouring.
Right.
Outpouring, seized by Shraddha.
One more thing, it is not just pragya, it is not just wisdom. So Shraddha is very important here. I'm a student of philosophy. Always we speak of love for wisdom. Wisdom is important. But in this Upanishad, it starts with Shraddha. It's not just knowledge which is required. So for Nachiketa, as a student, because he is a student of Yama, he's questioning with Shraddha. If Shraddha is not there, so one may have verbal knowledge, but may not able to acquire actual wisdom.
Yeah, so what we say is, even that acquisition of knowledge is not possible without Shraddha.
Yes.
We go one step and say, whatever I learn without Shraddha will not help me. That is another way to put it. Will not help me. I use it in wrong ways, etc. So Shraddha is part of the adhikaritva, qualifications. We talked about adhikaritva some time ago. So Shraddha is a part of that. It's a part of that, Adhikaritvam. What are the things he said? Shakracharya said what? Iha amutrartha. So iha and then anushravika phalabhoga viraga. Okay, like that he had said, right? So he is only talked about viraga. Vairagyam is the main thing he talked about as the adhikaritvam, prerequisite. But Shraddha is also here indicated. So prerequisite. Shraddha is also a prerequisite. Yeah, good point. Yeah, Hema Shankar.
How exactly do you define Shraddha? I mean, like in Tamil, we say Shraddha na romba rakkareyoda padrathu. Shraddham also comes from that word, isn't it? Shraddham. So how exactly do we define Shraddha?
Shrat dadhati iti Shraddha. Shrat satyam dadhati iti Shraddha. So going back to the previous discussion, only Shraddha will give me knowledge. That is the literal meaning of Shraddha. Shrat dadhati. And the meaning of that Shraddha is what then? And Guru Vedanta Vakyeshu Vishwashaha Shraddha. Vedanta Vakyeshu or Veda Vakyeshu, Guru Vakyeshu, Astikya Buddhihi, Vishwasa Buddhihi, Shraddha. That is how Tattvabodhakara defines it. So in Shastram we say it all the time. So belief that the words that are there in the Veda and the words uttered by the Guru are true. That Buddhi is called Shraddha.
Shraddham also comes from that word, isn't it?
Shraddham. I need to look at that.
Shraddhaya kuryate iti, something like that.
Yeah, probably. So Tadita is there. There is some Tadita. Shra becomes Shra, etc. Yeah, we need to look at that. Shraddhaya kritam iti.
But many people keep on saying Sradham, but it is actually Shraddham. Shraddham pannan solrate nariya per, even in Tamil, they write that in between, Shraddham. Actually, it is not Shraddham, it is Shraddham coming from Shraddha. I mean, whenever I hear that, I keep on correcting people, but that is why I asked.
Yeah, Tamil Nadu they say Shraddham.
Shraddha. The is not there, but Elara Chorra.
Right. Shraddham. Okay, any other questions? Let's see. Okay. So Mahesh ji sent a private note. What is the definition, explanation of the word Nachiketa? Okay. I don't know. So homework for you all is go to Vachaspatyam or go to Kalpadruma, type Nachiketa and you tell me what is the meaning of the word Nachiketa. Okay. Okay. So no other comments are there. So now you all must be familiar. Online tools are available. Kalpadruma Vachaspatyam is there. Go to kosha.sanskrit.org and then type your Nachiketa word there. And then it will tell you everything. All dictionaries are there. Every dictionary, what meaning you can you know everything. So I'd be interested to know what Nachiketas means. Thank you. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Dhanmantaraye Amritakalashahastaya Sarvamaya Vinashanaya Trailokyanataya Shri Mahavishnave Namaha. Is there anybody who has not introduced themselves? New students especially?
Yes, I have not introduced myself.
Yeah, Kavita, go ahead.
I live in Hyderabad. I am teaching in University of Hyderabad and I'm in philosophy department.
Oh.
My area of specialization is Indian aesthetics.
I see.
Primarily, I have worked on Natya Shastra and commentary on Natya Shastra.
Okay.
Here I teach also Indian philosophy introductory course. And I don't know why I was so fascinated by Kathopanishad. So I have been discussing this distinction of Shreyas and Prayas to the students, and they ask so interesting questions. I was looking for long that I should find a teacher who can teach me Kathopanishad with Shankaracharya's Bhashya. I have read a couple of times, it's so difficult. And I actually go to the recordings also of your classes because every word needs more time, more explanation. So my sister-in-law, M.N. Priya, she is your student of Bhagavad Gita class.
Sister-in-law who?
M.N. Priya.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah. Yeah, from US.
Yes, yes. So she mentioned about Kathopanishad, and I told her I really want to join this class.
Okay.
Here, and I'm so lucky. My Purva karmas made me to bring here, and to Indian philosophy. Mostly, see, I don't have any previous kind of sanskaram of Sanskritam, all those things. I joined philosophy department, and usually students are fascinated by Western philosophy.
Right.
But because of our teachers, I got interested in Indian philosophy, and now not only, I mean, to teach, really, I feel that it's part of life, and we should also take it more seriously, in the sense we should start living, not just this intellectual exercise. I mean, restrict it to intellectual exercise.
Yeah, so in fact, that is why I do not use, for our what we are studying, I do not use the word philosophy for that. That for that reason you said just now. For that same reason, I don't tell people I'm teaching philosophy and all that. No, because philosophy is an English word which means a particular field of study. Like anything else you're studying, so many fields are there, and philosophy is one such field, and you can study philosophy or you don't have to. But यहाँ पर तो ऐसा नहीं है. We have to. This is life or death for us.
Yes.
And for everybody, whether a person is educated or not educated, they have to. The Shastram is there in their blood, and so they all believe in it. And so that's the kind of life we are leading. So yeah, we are living it, correct. And therefore, this can't be called philosophy. Many people use the word philosophy for this, and I disagree with them. I tell them why I disagree with them. And so this is not philosophy.
Yes, that is true. It's a way of life.
Yeah, and so this one, Amba Kulkarni, Professor Amba Kulkarni is yeah, I communicated. Yeah, communicated. In fact, two weeks ago, a week ago, I communicated and I didn't get a response. Then she said she was traveling, and she said she'll get back to me.
A very busy person.
Right. Very good. Where are you living in Hyderabad?
Campus, University of Hyderabad campus. My husband also teaches here in history department, M.N. Rajesh.
I see.
Both of us are in same university.
Good. So yeah, you can infuse.
I'm from Haryana.
Oh, you're from Haryana, okay.
I'm from Haryana, and I met Dr. M.N. Rajesh here on campus, and there were so many matchmakers. They made us to meet, and 3 years back before we got married.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, so you can infuse your into this philosophy department. You can infuse our dharma based thinking, siddhanta. That's students should know that. What kind of courses do you teach, Kavita?
I teach because that's my area of specialization is Indian aesthetics, Alamkar Shastra.
Oh.
And also it's a demand of Western, so I also teach Western aesthetics.
Okay.
2 papers I have been teaching, and 1 more paper, Introduction to Indian Philosophy. So just elementary introduction, fundamentals of Indian philosophy. So
okay.
I discuss, and also Samkhya and Yoga, along with Charvak system.
Okay. Nice.
So I did my Shastri after my PhD. I did PhD on rasa theory of Abhinav Gupta. So
Yeah.
after that, I did my Shastri, and my options were Samkhya Yoga. So I read texts. With that, I got this fascination of reading texts. I found that these texts, we should not just keep reading secondary sources, what we usually do in philosophy departments. And then I started entering
Nice. Very good.
Darshan Shastra.
Very good. So you have a PhD, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
I did from Punjab University, Chandigarh.
Okay. PhD, Punjab University. Punjab University, I know head of the Department of English. Sanjeev, huh? Sajeev. No.
Okay.
What's his name? I'm not forgetting. He used to be engaged with our history project. We formed a history team, and he was part of the team for a while. And his name is
Kumar, right?
Kumar. Kya naam hai? Pradeep. Prasad.
Yeah, I was trying to. Yeah, I start with yes, Kumar. I'm also trying to think.
That's why he's the head of the Department of English department. Yeah. Nice. Good to have you, Kavitaji.
Thank you.
Jay Kumar.
Yeah.
Haripriya Mahodaya, her major is also Alankara Shastra.
Alankara Shastra, correct. Haripriya ji also did that. And she is now doing an online PhD course, online University of Hyderabad, I think. Hyderabad UFH is doing online courses also, or what? In Sanskrit, she is doing a PhD. And Hyderabad is what she mentioned. So I'm just curious. So we can check with Haripriya ji. Yeah. She has an advanced degree in Alankara Shastra. She's one of the teachers in our institute. Yeah. Good. Nice having you.
Thank you.
Anybody else who has not introduced themselves among the new students? Keshava Reddy, I think we heard from Rabi Ranjan Sen. Yeah. Chandra also we know. The rest we'll introduce next class. Thank you. Om Tat Sat. Hari Om.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ Jay Kumar ji.